Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is for all those Gen Zers out there and even people who are younger. Is this the Gen Alpha? So if you know somebody who's a Gen Zer, those are the teenagers and the individuals in their 20s, send this episode to them because this is going to be very pertinent to them and one that they're really going to be able to relate to, and it may resonate for them. So, and for all the parents out there, anybody who has a high school or a tween or a college age kid in their life, this is going to be very interesting, informative, and insightful. So
even if you work with somebody that age, right? Like you're exposed to them at church, it's at work, it's at wherever you go.
The young people in your life, however you get exposed to them or you are interacting or interfacing with them.
Yeah.
This episode's going to be really helpful for you. And what is it about? Or what is it called? Parasocial overload, which is a new term for me. I had not heard this before until I was having a conversation with the client. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And my client was talking about their niece and that someone who's sort of kind of obsessed with social media and being on their phone all the time and the conversations that they've been having in their family. And she was talking about these influencers, all these influencers who are affecting her and her friends. And so, of course, I wanted to do a deep dive on this because we hear about social media all the time, or we hear about influencers. I hear about all the money that these influencers are making. And I think, wow, it's like the NFL. You're an athlete and you're making $100 million in a 4-year contract. But what does the NFL also mean other than being a professional football player? It also means not for long. Mm-hmm. And I worry about that with influencers, that maybe you're making whatever it might be, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers. Now, maybe we're not talking about the Kardashians because they've got their hands in all kinds of businesses or true entrepreneurs. But take the 28-year-old who's making a ton of money because she's young and cute and has a hot little body and is being sponsored by this and that apparel company and perfume and protein powder. Well, I don't know how long that's going to go on for. And that's also not for long.
That's
right?
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Right. So I worry about these influencers that, how long will you be making this amount of money as an air quote influencer on social media?
Yeah.
But the young people are very much obsessed with them.
They are.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. Because you leave that world at some point, and what do? What have you been doing that translates into your next step, whatever that might be?
So we're going to get into what that is like for a younger person. Or, you know what? Let's not make assumptions here. This is right. This is anybody in their 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, I find that, and I'm going to give you tips at the end, as I always do, your power moves. How do you deal with this? Because I find the algorithm, we talked about this last week, it is designed to addict us. It's designed to give us all these really great, warm, fuzzy dopamine hits and keep us on the app. That's what they're designed to do. Yeah. And I've fallen victim to it. I can easily scroll more on TikTok than Instagram or any other social media app. The algorithm knows what I like and it keeps showing me whatever it might be, skincare or wildlife animals, and it keeps me on there. Yeah. And it's a feel good. I enjoy it. Or I'm laughing at some silly, stupid thing someone's doing,
right?
Dancing or something. It keeps you on there.
It does.
But you've got to be careful when you move into the realm of seeing somebody who they're showing you all their highlight reels and they're really attractive and they say things that you like. And then you commenting in the comments, and they're not responding to you.
No.
So let's get into it.
Have you ever met anybody that works in that world, the behind the scenes world?
I have. I've worked with people. Yes. Yeah.
Not an influencer. I'm talking about the ones that are like
I work with influencers.
The infrastructure of feeding you and your...
No, I've worked with influencers.
I would like to talk to somebody
and
like
let me tell you, it's hard for them in a different way because they know they have to sort of keep up they have to keep up appearances. I had an influencer client years ago who was really dealing with some depression and some anxiety because they had gained weight and it was very much affecting their image of how they looked on screen. And they were struggling with, I can't show that I've gained this weight. I need to somehow, shooting from different angles, to make themselves look the way they used to look a year and a half ago. Very, very stressful for that person. My heart really went out to them.
Yeah.
There were some clinical issues going on at this point, some mental health issues happening for that influencer.
Yeah.
They are aware that they have to show up on screen looking, air quote, in their eyes, perfect.
And every time.
Yeah. So they spend a lot of time. It's smoke and mirrors. They spend a lot of time showing you what you want to see, and that is not their real life.
Yeah.
And that's what I want everybody to know.
And it's not yours either.
Right.
As you're watching it,
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
So let's get into some statistics. I always like to start off the episode with some statistics for all of you, just to sort of file it away and get a sense as to, how prevalent this is today. Okay. So parasocial overload. More than half of social media users now report a one-sided bond with at least one creator. So that's where you are following all these people and you find them to be funny, you find them to be attractive, you want their life, you want their house, you want their boyfriend, whatever it is. You want everything. You want their vacations, and you're making comments in the comment section, but they don't respond back to you because they have thousands and thousands of comments. 52% of these people say that they have a strong parasocial relationship with a YouTuber, and 36% feel genuinely close to that person, even though the creator has no idea they exist.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So they perceive in their mind, their experiences, no, I have more than half feel that I have a strong relationship. It's a parasocial relationship with someone on YouTube. And 36% of people, they feel genuinely close to that person. So what is that telling all of us? Even though that creator, they don't know you exist. They don't know you.
Right.
Very interesting.
So you had this vision in your head of what you think this is.
I think it's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy. Yeah.
Of what you think it is and what you want it to be. So let me go on here. 58% of American adults who use social media say the experience harms their mental health. So almost 60% of Americans admit that, yeah, I'm on social media and it has or is harming my mental health. Gen Z users are the most likely to describe anxious, sad, or depressed feelings after a long session online. So the Gen Zers are most likely to really describe feeling anxious, sad, or depressed. That's what I just said. They've been on for, let's say, an hour, hours, and they get off and they feel depressed because they look around at their bedroom, their little apartment, their house. It's a mess. The dishes are all sitting in the sink. There's dog hair everywhere. The beds aren't made. There's crappy food in the refrigerator. And they're like, wah, wah. Because they just spent 2 hours looking at someone's gorgeous white kitchen with chrome finishes in their Magnolia Joanna Gaines home, or someone's hiking in the Colorado Rockies, or in the Alps of Italy or France. And they're like, oh, and this is my life right here. Okay, that's not fun. Right?
It's so true. So let me ask you, because this could speak to a couple things. It could speak to the fact that that generation spends more time. They're more exposing themselves to social media than other generations.
And to influence.
Right. So there's time.
Right.
Or it could also speak to the fact that maybe that generation is more in tune with themselves and things that
go further with that.
Like an introspective view of like, what affects me in a positive or negative way. In this case, it's a negative way. But that generation is either more educated about how to do that or why to do that or when to do that, versus a different generation might be like, I don't even really know what that means and I don't take the time to do it. Possibly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. A 2024 peer-reviewed study that drilled deeper on this showed that frequent interaction with influencers increases loneliness by nudging followers into stronger parasocial bonds instead of having real life support networks or real life relationships. And the whole reason why I started this podcast in 2019, when I started recording and started interviewing people, the whole reason was because I noticed in 2017, 2018 in my office, anecdotally, the evidence was showing me my clients were lonely. Even though, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, I've said, before, COVID hit and I lost my office after 20 years, I would have, client after client after client sitting in the waiting room. And I would think to myself, for so many people, there was this underlying sense of loneliness. Well, that was 2017 and 18. Can you imagine how it is today in 2025, where we are with social media?
Right.
And I would think to myself, oh, I wish I could introduce my 9 a.m. to my 4 p.m. They would get along so well. Or I wish my 2 o'clock and my 3 o'clock could get together. I would love to introduce, like I was sort of like wanting to matchmake because they felt like they were the only ones with whatever issue it was. Many were coming in with similar patterns or themes in their lives, but they felt they were the only one. And I think, gosh, you guys would like each other so much. But for ethics and confidentiality reasons, I could never do that. And then I was reading studies about loneliness, and was it 2018 or 2019 that Cigna Health Insurance came out with that massive study. 150,000 people were surveyed about loneliness. And it was this massive study talking about this epidemic or pandemic of loneliness throughout the world. And that's really what got me to start the podcast, because I wanted to pay it forward that you're not alone. You're not the only one who's ever felt this way. There's so many people who are dealing with issues that are similar to yours, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be your relationship falling apart, whether it be you have this air quote secret addiction and it's weird and it's cringy and I'm so embarrassed. Shame. So many of us are walking around with shame, deep shame and guilt. And we're not talking about it, but we're talking about it within the four walls or in the privacy of a Zoom call now with our clients and sometimes with our coaches. And you have to know that you're not alone. And that's why I started the podcast, because I wanted to help people know they're not alone and what to do about it.
So that was in 17, 18-ish.
Yeah. And then in 19, I'd read the study, and that was when we started doing, I started recording interviews in 2019.
Lots of interviews at the beginning.
Right. With the launch in 2020 because of loneliness.
Right.
Right.
And then you have the pandemic, and that just made everything.
It made it all worse.
Worse.
And to read this, when I was researching this topic, that last year they did this it's a peer-reviewed study, so it's legit.
Yeah.
They did this study that drilled deeper on this whole issue. And they talked about your interacting with influencers is increasing your loneliness. So we got a problem.
Yeah. Have you looked at the numbers? It'd be interesting to look at the numbers 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, all the way to now in terms of what people are responding today versus what they did in 17, 18. And then what happened? Like in 20, it had to dip.
Did we have TikTok in 17 and 18? I think we did. I don't know. I got on TikTok in 2020 because of COVID being at home. I think my son was on it. I heard about it, but I don't even know if it existed in 2017. Everybody was on Instagram, but Instagram is different. Yeah. Yes, you can be in the comments and people were commenting in there. Instagram probably is just as guilty meta, the whole meta. Facebook's different. Facebook is more the Gen Xers. I know that our kids are not really on Facebook at all. Yeah. It's for family. It's for people you're friends with in high school. But I know from our kids and know from my clients, they are not on Facebook. They're in the Reddit forums. They're on Snapchat. Some are on TikTok, not all. They're on Instagram and they're on Snapchat big time. So, okay, let's go further. So from a neuroscience lens, it's going to get into this a little bit. The problem is baked into our biology. All right. So, if you are thinking to yourself, this is my kid or this is me, I'm here to tell you that it's not just you and you're not a weirdo. You're not a freak. This is all of us, myself included here. The National Geographic, we all know that magazine, in October of 2024. So last year they did a feature in their magazine talking about how the human brain processes a video face almost exactly as it does someone from across the dinner table as us. So think about that. So our brain doesn't know the difference. So we see a face on a video on one of the apps we're looking at. We process it the same neurologically as we do as sitting across, the dinner table or the coffee table from somebody in a coffee shop. All right.
So these are all subconscious. What? How would you say that? You're not really aware of all of that.
It's just what the brain is processing and thinks it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the mid-temporal cortex. It can't reliably distinguish, air quote, a screen friend from a skin and bone friend.
That's crazy, right?
But it's amazing when I read this.
Yeah.
Our brains cannot tell the difference between a screen friend and a skin and bone friend.
Right.
Real life, someone you can touch, skin, bone.
Until you actually think about it. And then you can. Right.
Okay, but here's what happens. So we have this automatic sense of intimacy that once kept early humans safely tethered to a tribe. There's an intimacy. So we were in tribes a million years ago, but online, it's supercharged by the algorithms. It's built to maximize our watch time. That's the research that they've done to go into this, right?
Right.
So they know our brains in many ways better. Well, in most ways better than us, right? So when we binge a creator's highlight reel for hours and hours, our dopamine and oxytocin fire as if we're bonding with that person.
Right.
So it's firing the dopamine, the oxytocin, this feel-good hormone. The oxytocin's a feel-good hormone. Yet no reciprocal care flows back to you. You're not getting it back from that person.
Right.
You're watching them, watching them, watching them. They don't even know you exist.
Right.
So the result is this massive intimacy gap. We feel connected, but objective social support for you has not budged. Nothing has changed. You feel connected, but you're not connected. That's the truth.
Very much so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I would pay lots of money to be a fly on the wall for those board meetings where they're talking about how to design this stuff. They must have scientists in there. They've got all kinds of people, really smart people.
Do they have any bioethicists in there is what I want to know.
No.
Anybody
not.
who is trained and who went to school for bioethics or ethics?
No. So, no.
There
way.
are master's programs in ethics. I was going to do it after grad school. Or somebody who just has knowledge of, because we can do it, should we do it?
Right.
And I know that this has been a massive debate in the whole world of AI, artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a whole other conversation about people who quit their jobs. Tristan Harris, who left Google and did that documentary I've talked about so many times on here.
Yeah.
It was one person, but there are many, many people who said, wait, slow down. Wait, this is not what I thought we were doing. Okay. Just because we can do it, should we be doing this? Okay. Wait. I didn't think that we were going to be doing this. I mean, you're tapping into people's consciences and the way they think and the way they feel. I don't know if we should be doing this. I have been reading articles, listening to podcasts, hearing about this for so many years now. Well, obviously there are people who are in those boardrooms who are like, I'm good, we're good, just keep going. Because there's money to be made.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And the squad that you're talking about that are questioning it from an ethical standpoint.
They're like, you can leave now.
They're sitting
There's
in a
the
waiting
door.
room. They're
There's
sitting
the
in a
exit
waiting
sign.
room, not part of that meeting at all.
Well, they want you like, bye,
Yeah.
see ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So what are psychologists today calling it, which I said in the beginning is new to me. So remember this phrase, everybody, parasocial overload. It's a state where emotional energy is siphoned toward influencers while real world ties are languishing. All right. So there was a study by Liu and Lee. It found that followers who commented on influencer posts daily score significantly higher on the UCLA loneliness scale. So UCLA has a loneliness scale. So those people who are posting daily, what it means is that you're in there quite a bit and you're following this creator and you're posting all the things that they are saying. Yeah. You're interacting with them. They scored higher on this loneliness scale. And the effect was fully mediated by perceived social support. The more seen they felt by the influencer, the lonelier they were offline.
Wow. So like
it's
let's
just
say,
fascinating
let's
what's
say
happening.
If it's you make that comment, you're watching somebody, you're watching the influencer, you make that comment, that's one thing. But if somehow, some way that influencer likes your comment, I got to imagine the numbers go wildly.
It keeps you
higher.
in there. It keeps you going.
Yes.
It keeps you wanting to interact.
Like,
Listen, I mean, I'm on social media. People interact and like my stuff and comment to me, but I don't have a million people. So I have more time. And I know there are times I have one post that went viral 2 years ago. People still are commenting on it because it really got underneath people's skin in a positive way and also a negative way. It was about when adult children are going low contact and no contact with their Gen X and their baby boomer parents, why that is. And I said, if you're a Gen Xer or you're a baby boomer, this is you and you have low contact or no contact with your children, say you're sorry. And wow, people got really mad at me. And a lot of people were supportive, but yeah, I still get comments now. And that was, I think it was in 22.
Yeah,
so, I do try, but I don't get a lot. I mean, I see it pop up. I get a notification. I respond to people.
Right.
But I'm a whole different ball of wax. I'm a little tiny person. I'm not some big, massive creator.
But I think that's a good point because you want those comments and that activity just as much as the guy that has 1 million followers gets, right? Like you're striving towards more activity on your account.
I am striving towards more activity. So I understand why creators are doing what they're doing. I do understand the whole social media world. I get it. I'm not judging them. I'm not judging these influencers. What I'm telling you, who's the listener or the follower or the watcher of an influencer, the whole point of this episode is going to be to tell you you've got to live in real life. Okay, so I'm going to give you ways to do that at the end. That's what's most important here is because, okay, fine, you like that influencer, you like what they talk about, you like, I don't know, you think that they're attractive and you aspire to want to look like them. That's fine. I mean, maybe they're a fitness person. That's fine. But you got to get off the app at some point. Don't put all your eggs in one basket of social media. So, yeah, I mean, the creators, they're working hard. They are working hard.
They are working hard.
I know from working with influencers. I mean, they're working their butts off and they're entrepreneurs and they have a work ethic. And I ain't throw no shade at them. I mean, they really are busting their butts.
Yeah. They're chasing a bar that's always going higher.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
And I feel
they're
for
never
them.
gonna. We talked about goals, and we talked about can you actually get to the goal, and then what happens if you actually do? Like, then does the goal change? Does it shift? Is there a new goal? Like, what is it? You're describing the same thing here, in that they're chasing this bar, thinking, okay, if I get whatever it is, fill in the blank, I'm good with that, or that puts me into this next level. But then you get there, and then what? It's like the goalpost moved again. It's like, I get it. It's another game of chase. I feel for them because they're always in their head, like chase, right?
It's so funny because I'm just thinking as you're speaking, just this week, I did a post on Instagram and TikTok about how AI is wonderful for so many reasons, but please stop using it as your therapist or your coach.
Yeah.
And I haven't been a lot of people looking at it. And now I'm starting to think that maybe they know what I'm talking about. And they're not
shutting it down.
Yes. Yes. I'm just thinking it right now. I'm like, wait, actually think that they see it and they don't want to promote it and they're shutting it down because they don't want people to do what I'm saying to do. Because I'm saying I have noticed that people are going to ChatGPT in particular and they're asking for mental health advice. And I could talk for hours about this. It drives me crazy. Asking for mental health advice or wellness advice. And, ChatGPT is really incredible for so many reasons. And I said on there, ChatGPT is not a human being. They're not making eye contact with you. They're not picking up on body language. They can't see you as you're fiddling with your wedding band. They can't see you with your arms across, your arms across your chest, your legs across, your body language is closed. They can't see what I can see, even on virtual. I can see when a client is starting to dissociate from something. It's a robot. It's a computer system.
Yeah.
It can't do all of that. And that's what I was saying.
But can't it? I mean,
no, not today. Well, they are robots. They are not
you
human
saw
beings.
Terminator, right?
They're not human beings.
Yeah.
And people are using it for mental health and wellness, which is a little concerning to me.
Yeah.
And actually, I do wonder if maybe that's why no one's seeing it, because they don't want anybody to see it.
Well, you're describing an amazing topic for a movie, because that's where this could go, right? That's a little fantasy in there, but like it could go there. I mean, we never thought we would be.
Do we ever
here.
think Terminator would be a thing, huh?
Well, you're far closer to it now than you were back in 87 or whatever it was when it was dropped.
That was fantasy back then.
Yes.
And it's no longer a fantasy.
No,
it's becoming a reality. Or that movie, Her. Was it Her, She with Joaquin Phoenix when he fell in love with that computer?
There were a couple.
That computer
wasn't
woman?
there was iRobot. What was that one? That was another one.
No, the one, he won an Academy Award for that a few years ago. It was really.
It's wild. There's some wild movies out there.
Okay, so specifically, and I'm with TikTok, they have this endless loop that they'll get you into. And I know because I've fallen prey to this. And you have this perfect recipe. One client told me feels like this friendship jet lag where, you become chronically tired of people in real life. So TikTok kind of pulls you in a little bit more. Their algorithm is different than Meta. Meta is Facebook and Instagram. And she said to me, I have this friendship jet lag. Like I'm tired of people, yet she's craving more connection in her life. So she's doing it on social media, specifically on TikTok, to try to get more connected with people. Because in real life, she's tired, and we're working on that.
Right. And the endless loop you're referring to is just the endless loop of being fed what you like to watch or interact with. Okay.
it feels good. You're lit up.
Yeah. And there's no end to it. It just keeps going.
They see me. They hear me.
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you some takeaways. All right. These are 5 key takeaways for all of you who are watching and listening. All right. So here we go again. Half of young adults feel close to creators, people you will never meet, people who will never respond to you. Deloitte and Touche, it's Deloitte's 2025 digital media trends study showed that 50% of Gen Z and millennials say they bond more with social media creators than with TV actors or public figures. I think that's also why film and television shows, actors and celebrities are really feeling this right now. And I know this from podcasts I listen to.
And not in a good way, is what you're saying.
Well, they're feeling it.
Yeah.
Because people would rather be on TikTok than actually, no one's going to the movies anymore. People are streaming shows. Don't you think it's interesting that these big times these actors are doing like Allstate commercials and doing commercials for like colon care?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Were we seeing that 20 years ago? They need to work. And why is that?
They all have a podcast now.
Yeah, everybody's got a podcast.
Yeah, interesting.
Why do you think? Because people are not following or listening to them. The red carpet is nothing what it used to be when I watched years ago with Joan Rivers. And it was like everything. I would go to Oscar parties and it was so fun, exciting to see what the actresses and actors, mostly the actresses, the dresses they would show up in. Who are you wearing? And the name of the designer. You'd see all the, getting ready ahead of time. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. You'd rather be scrolling on TikTok, very quickly watching next person. And it's like, makes us like, we're lit up on the inside.
So
yeah.
Think
50% of Gen Z and millennials.
So think about it. Like you referred to the movie industry. Like, so if you think about the movies that are dropped, which are not many, it feels like now, right? You and I talked about this just a couple nights ago.
Right.
Like there used to be the summer drop. Like what was the big,
I was saying I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it. Did you remember hot summer nights when we were younger? It was like so summer, like it was quintessential summer, and you'd go to the movies to see like Top Gun or Back to the Future, some great blockbuster movie was out, and it'd be fun if there were like 2 or 3 to choose from. To me, it was quintessential summer growing up.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah, it's totally gone. If you think about it, so there's that. And then you've got now, it's like you've got all these Netflix series, right? Whether it's 9 episodes or it's 12 or it's a season or 2 seasons or 3 or 4. But that supports the whole endless loop situation you're describing versus the movie, which is amazing, but it's 2 hours or it's 3 hours.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it's done. Like you're already on to you're finished. And you need to find something else.
And I think social media is worse than streaming shows. Watching
totally.
Streaming programs.
Social media takes that whole mini series to the next level times whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the creators know it.
Oh gosh,
and they feel it, and that's where they have all this. They're always putting output.
Bingo.
Putting out for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, parasocial bonds can amplify loneliness. We've already talked about that. At 2024, I talked about this peer-reviewed study about people, the loneliness scale. So yeah, time and emotion are flowing one way, everybody. Your time and your emotions are flowing one way. There's no reciprocity here, okay? Really important for you to know if you've fallen victim to this or to share with your kids, okay? Number 3, your brain is treating video faces like real faces. That was huge. That's really, really big, huge information, okay?
Yeah.
Number 4, scrolling is crowding out real life support. Scrolling is crowding out being with people, interacting, getting out of your house, getting out of your home, just getting off your phone, lifting your head up, and not like we talk about everybody's got tech neck now because we're all looking down at our phones. So put your head up, look around, and see what's out there in the real world, okay? And then the influencer binging, when people are binging someone's account or just binging people that you like, there's a massive mood dip. So we are seeing there are spikes in anxiety, sadness, especially when you are comparing yourself to the highlight reels. Remember, these are highlight reels of all these influencers that you are following. That's really big.
Yeah.
It's important for you to know. Okay. So, here are some power moves for you if you want to move out of this. Number 1, I want you to run a reciprocity audit. I want you to scroll your last 10 interactions. Go through the last 10 interactions. Mark which of those interactions you had produced a 2-way exchange. the creator that did respond to you, that did say something back to you. I want you to unfollow or mute the one creator or the creators that never reply to you or never engage with you. This is a really nice way for you to audit who you're following. Okay. This might be hard to do, and I want you to do it. If someone has responded to you, even if they've liked, you can keep them. And if they've written something in the comment section back to you, keep them. What's going to end up happening is you're going to start unfollowing a lot of people and go through the last 10, maybe the last 20. Like, you know what? They never respond to anything I say. They never respond to anything I say. And I'm like in their comments and they're not responding to me. Unfollow them or mute them. So this is freeing up time in your life, in real life, to invest in relationships that can reciprocate with you. The people in your world, when you put your head up and you look around in your neighborhood, in your community, in your school, on your sports team. Okay.
Yeah.
Where you're playing pickleball. All right. Number 2, I want you to swap a comment for a text. So each time you're feeling the urge to DM an influencer, slide into their DMs, instead, I want you to text somebody in real life instead.
Someone
You want to slide into someone's DM.
Yeah.
I want you instead to text somebody in real life.
Okay.
And you could text them anything. Hey, thinking about you today. Just something that's getting you into your real life. So I'm asking you to hesitate, pause before you slide into somebody's DM of a creator that's got 350,000 followers. Not sure that they're going to respond to you.
Right.
Okay. Converts these parasocial impulses for you into genuine social support and genuine social interactions with people in your life who know you, like you, and care about you.
I like it.
Remember, these people on social media, they don't know you. They don't know you to like you.
Yeah.
And they don't care about you. They
Right.
certainly don't care about you.
Yeah. You're just spinning your wheels, basically.
Yeah.
We deal with this stuff at work daily.
Do you really?
Yeah. Because we have all these in the summer where we have a ton of seasonal help that comes in.
Oh, I see.
And
I see.
everybody that
Yeah.
you're describing, the demographic that you're describing, that's the group that comes to us and works for us and with us for 10 weeks.
Oh my gosh. You guys have to tell them to get off their phones.
You do. We could do a whole episode just on this, and I won't get too far off the rails with it, but like you walk by a room. Now, keep in mind, there's training that's happened weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago, sometimes months ago,
Right.
talking about like, how do we be as an employee? How do we be as a counselor or a director of a camp or an assistant director? And yet, even now, we're in week 6, I think it is, out of 10. Even now, we'll walk by rooms and you'll see the kids are like not being engaged with the team, whether it's the counselors. And it's like, what are they doing? The counselors,
They're on their
not all the
phones.
time, but like you'll see like there's 3 counselors all sitting together and everybody's looking at their phone. They're not even talking to each other. They're certainly not engaging themselves with the children, which is like why
Right.
we're paying you to
Right.
be here. And it's like, we've had meetings, we've had not so fun meetings. And yet we don't make the bold move. And I don't know if that's a bigger conversation,
Yeah,
but
it
we
is.
don't say like, all right, everybody, you walk into this door today, I need your phone and it goes right here. And when you leave, you get it back. Like we haven't.
Tim, we used to do it when the kids were in high school or middle school. So this is a while ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was probably like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade. When the kids were older, they didn't do it in college. But I remember middle school and high school. Do you remember when they would have friends over for dinner and I would make everybody
Totally.
put their phones in the kitchen
Yeah.
on the kitchen counter?
Yeah.
They couldn't come in. They couldn't sit at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And then one time my daughter said, so-and-so, her best friend, you and I were sitting with all these kids. We had all these, and she said, so-and-so had her phone the whole time, Mom.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? She's like, had it in between her legs on the seat. She was looking down at it. I had no idea because we probably had
Right.
10 kids around the table.
Probably.
I had no idea. I'm like, oh, that little brat.
Yeah.
She's not doing that again. So I was on to her next time she came over and I made her, you put your phone in, and she did.
Right.
But this is a problem. So that was 2014, 15, 16.
Right. Right.
So how is it today? Yeah, because I had a client. This is why I also wanted to talk about this too, because I had a client, she had, a bunch of kids in her basement and like cousins or something. And they're all like in 9th and 10th grade. She goes, I go down the basement to go, to the back part of the basement to get some out of the fridge. She goes, I look at these kids. No one's talking to each other. They're all sitting in this huge, like big sectional couch.
Yeah.
Everyone's like slumped down on the couch like teenagers will do. And they're all have their heads down on their phones.
Right.
She said, I couldn't believe it. No one was talking or interacting with each other. They're all on their phones.
Right.
And that's a common scenario for many, many parents today.
It is. It is.
And you're seeing it at work.
Well, but I'm bringing it up because I'm like, I don't know. Are we part of the problem? There's schools out there that don't.
Well, you have to help them set their boundaries because they don't have the capacity. They do.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say they don't completely because they do. And teenagers and young adults, you need to set the guardrails up for them. You need to help them set those boundaries. So, as employers, you have to have the guardrails in place. That is on you. So, and if you see them pull their phones out, you need to remind them of the boundaries are. I mean, I'm not going to talk about, because I don't know, what your limits are with work. I don't know if you take phones from them. I don't think you can do that.
Well, that's where I'm going with
this. They do it in some high schools. I know they used to do it in high schools here.
Not much.
They don't do it very much, but you can say, turn your phone off, put your phones away. Don't want to see that phone out.
Yeah.
You are on the clock. You're being paid, blah, 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 whatever you might say. But you need to remind them over and over and over again. Kids, how many times do we need to hear something before we listen? Like, they say you need to see something like 47 times before you'll actually buy something. So it might be the same. You're going to feel like a banging gong. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is like Groundhog Day. I do this every single freaking day with these kids, these counselors, but you got to keep reminding them you cannot be on your phone when you're at work. You have to be watching these kids.
Yeah.
Off your phones, off your phones, off your phones. I guess.
I think where you're trying to go with this is there really needs to be a united front in education.
Yeah.
In employment,
right,
where it's not okay to have your phone. You cannot bring it to your classroom. It needs to stay in your locker. You can't bring it in.
Well, you should talk to the educators and the teachers out there, what they're dealing with right now.
It would be a worldwide effort.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like, well, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's never, right? It's like, what's up with that? There's no consistency. If I was 20, I'd be like, well, shoot, I don't really get this because like in this classroom, I can, but yet you're saying in my camp, I cannot, but yet when I go on this retreat, I can. And then my parents say, probably not, but only at dinner. The rest of the time, what?
Well, I do believe it starts at home. I do believe that if your parents are more permissive and allow you to be on your phone whenever, however, why ever, then when they go to be a counselor in training, a CIT that's like 13, 14, or a counselor, or they go to school, like, don't tell me what to do. I'm allowed to do this all the time at home.
Right.
And I think that's a parenting issue. Permissive parenting versus setting those boundaries at home.
Yeah.
And having rules and having guardrails set up for them.
Yeah.
And to parent your children, you cannot be on your phone at school and you listen to the teacher, you listen to the principal, whatever, you listen to your boss.
Right.
Right. This has been an issue for many, many years now. This is nothing new, being on phones.
That's not something new, but it's a thing that's not being addressed. Like a lot of people talk about it and then no one actually, and I'm included, no one actually does anything.
And inside of that, in today's episode, is about why we are all so addicted, including the younger generation, the Gen Zs and even the Gen Alphas. Why are we addicted? Because the algorithm, the science is there to addict us because that's what the algorithm is supposed to do. Right. On all social media apps. Yeah.
And giving you access is the gateway to getting into that whirlpool of problems that you're you're talking about right now.
Okay, so let's go back through. So here's your power moves. Number one, you're going to do a reciprocity audit. Okay, so I want you, like I said, I want you to go through the people who are not interacting to you. I would suggest or challenge you to unfollow them. They don't know you. They're not responding to you. They don't care about you. Number two, I want you to swap, instead of making a comment, swap that for a text to somebody in real life. And number three, I want you to schedule creator office hours. And this is really big. And I'm adding this into my coaching. This is new for me with my coaching clients because I have all of my coaching clients, they're all doing an audit of how they're living their everyday life. And that's something that everybody who works with me does. And you can have time to be on your phones, but I am going to really now focus on this a little bit more. So I want you to pick a 20-minute window in your day. So maybe it's on your lunch hour if you're at work, maybe it's in the morning, whenever. 20 minutes though. And I want you to set the timer. I want you to just watch your watch when you allow yourself completely to do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. Be on your phone. If you're like 20 minutes, that's ridiculous. Okay, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Yeah. But then you got to get off. What we're trying to teach you is to have impulse control, This is all about impulse control. So control the impulse to stay on longer. Control the impulse to just let your brain go blah and visually watch all the beautiful bodies and the cute outfits and the awesome houses, whatever it is you're into, okay? Or all the people fishing reels. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, set a timer, watch your watch, and then get off, okay?
Yeah.
And get back into real life. When you contain this, it's turning your endless scrolling into intentional viewing. I want you to be intentional about what it is you're doing, okay? So coaching is really all about intention and specificity. So this is turning it into, oh my gosh, it's been an hour and a half. I feel so guilty because what have I been doing for the last hour and a half? I've been scrolling Instagram and scrolling TikTok. It gets you out of that and it has you feeling better about yourself because you're like, no, I was on for 30 minutes, but it was intentional. It was actually a planned part of my day. Great. That's wonderful. Okay. So it's not that we don't want you on there, and I don't think you ought to be on there. You're going to be on there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Just plan it out and set your own guardrails around how much time you're going to spend on there.
You're trying to offset how this whole thing's designed from the ground up. You're trying to offset that.
It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I enjoy it. There are people that I follow I enjoy. You got to have limits on how much you're on. Okay?
Help yourself.
Yeah. So I want you to, number 5, start this 3-for-1 challenge. All right. So for every 30 minutes of creator content that you're observing or you're watching, you're viewing, I want you to spend 10 minutes creating something on your own. So you're watching, these are creators. Okay. So you're watching them. This is what they've created for you. And most times they're trying to sell you something, or they want to make you laugh, or they want to make you think. That's fine. Yeah. Watch them. But then I want you to spend 10 minutes and I want you to create something of your own. Maybe you're going to go and journal. Maybe you're going to draw. Maybe you're going to write a mini blog. Maybe you're going to, or start a blog. And maybe you're going to send a voice note to yourself of something that you've been thinking about that you want to do something on. Maybe you're wanting to start a small business and you have got an idea of something and you're going to explore if it's already out there. I want you just to get creative on your own because you are also a creator. You also have creativity inside of you. So rather than spending all your time watching all the creators, that's fine. Now get off and do something that's creative for you. So that really helps you shift from being this passive consumer to an active participant of creativity in your own life.
Sure.
All right.
That's good advice.
Yeah. It boosts agency over yourself and it boosts your mood.
I like it.
We're all about, okay, let's get your agency back.
Yeah.
Because when we spend all this time on social media, we lose our agency. You remember, it's to other people, other creators in the world.
Yeah.
What are you doing for you? Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I read this somewhere else. It's not here in my notes, but one thing I think it could also help is to don't just be looking at these creators or people that you're following, let's say on TikTok by yourself. Show it to someone. And I've done this with you. Like watch it with another person, because what that does is you can laugh together, and that's in real life. That's somebody you're laughing with. And that might help you actually not be on it as much and get off because you've just shared a laugh with someone in real life. I know that I've done that with you.
Right.
And then I get off. Or if something is thought-provoking, watch it with another person. You watch it with your mom, watch it with your brother, watch it with your friend, and see what they think. And that brings in more critical thinking. Mm-hmm. So that will help bring in your critical thinking skills. Okay. So all this to say, I just don't want you all, and I'm including myself in this because I have spent too much time on social media myself, especially during the pandemic years. I want you to spend time, but I also want you to spend time getting back into you, your brilliance, your creativity, what's wonderful about you and the people in your life, in real life, getting outside, going for a hike, going for a walk, looking at the trees, looking at the sky, remembering that you are just as important as these people on social media on your screen that you think are really important. No. You are just as important as them, just as valuable, just as unique, just as special as them. And let's get into you.
Great advice.
So move away from these parasocial relationships, okay? And I want you to remember, they are going one way, everybody. They don't know you. They don't know you exist. They're most likely never going to know you. It's fine. Get on there. We do it for all kinds of reasons. I shop on TikTok now because there's amazing brands on there. Okay, fine. All well and good. And then get off and get into the people in your real life. If that happens, I can almost guarantee your mental wellness is going to increase. It's going to go up because now you're pouring into the people in your life and in your community that you care about and who care about you and love you.
And you're helping them as well because I'm sure they have the same struggles.
Right.
Right.
Okay. You know where to find me if you want to work with me. hello@annamarcolin.com. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate with 5 stars, and review the podcast. It makes all the difference in the world. And please share this episode with someone in your life who's on social media a lot. It's probably every one of us has one person we can hit share. Okay.
I'm going to share it.
Yeah. So share this episode with people who you think could benefit. This is never about judgment. It's about something that most of us on this planet today are dealing with, at least in first and second world countries. We're dealing with this. And these are 5 great tips for all of you, takeaways to help you. Okay. And I'm not saying get off it completely, but let's learn how to regulate it and get into the people in everyday life.
Love it.
Mad love, everyone. Till next time.